Hello everyone. It's time for the September update. It's a little late because I have been at a hospital for some testing. So I'm back home and rested up and ready to go. Luckily my mother came over and watered things and took care of the mounts and things while I was gone, so there was no problem there. So let's get started with the update. All of the phals are doing really well. New leaves, new roots. Roots are everywhere. Down here, lots of new growth on the nodosa. We've got new growth, 3 new growth on the twinkle, Oncidium twinkle. And one of them has actually created the bulb. So it's a nice fat bulb down here. My Oncidium catatanti. Another new growth popping up right there. New roots coming out. But this growth seems to have done something weird. I think it's because it didn't have very many roots overall when the new growth started, so it stayed dehydrated more than it should have. But now there are a lot more roots, so hopefully the newest growth will not do that. The Shalab Tolkien, the new growth, is looking really well. It's got the newest leaf here coming out. So it is doing really well. Lots of new roots down in there. And the little bag baby cattleyas are doing all right. New growths are getting a little bigger. No new roots yet. Not since I repotted them out of the bag, but this was the one that was 2 plants in one. Here is one of the newer plants. This is, it's upside down, Dendrobium rosellium. Looking really good. And I just noticed there is a new growth happening right there. So that is awesome. But the part that got broke off, which I don't know if it was a flower spike or an extension of the plant itself, it kind of got bent in shipping and it is turning brown, so this part will probably break off. But who knows? And part of it's still green, maybe it'll do something, but I will leave it there just in case. And all of these are growing new leaves already. Focus there. You can see how the growth progresses out of the tips. You can see this little bit right there in the middle. That'll be a new leaf. This one's doing the same thing. That's just such a cool plant. I love it. And this one here, that one is not the name. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. I've got to put it back up. I'm sorry, I'm jerking the camera around. There we go. Dendrobium Primolium Magic by Dendrobium Lodogessii Gilbert. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's the one that when it was shipped, it started losing leaves and had spots all over it. Now all of those leaves fell off. So this is what I am left with. But since this will lose its leaves in the wintertime anyway, I figure it will probably be okay. I did send the company, which was Carter and Holmes, a picture of the plant looking really, really bad. And one of the old canes is kind of mushy at the end. I'm kind of watching it. It hasn't progressed up the cane any, so I haven't cut it off, but I did take a picture of that as well, and they decided that they should send me a new one. And now that I'm back home, they will probably be sending that out soon, just in case this one dies. Here is those Sherry Baby seedlings that broke in half, and I put them in 1-inch clay pots. And they seem to be doing okay. No real changes, but you never know. And then that is a recovering fowl. But it's got lots of new roots, and the new leaf, you can see right here, is growing, and it's nice and shiny. So maybe that one will come out of it. Here is my Dendrobium Jonathan's Joy, or Glory, Dark Joy, sorry. And it's little Kiki. It's doing really well. New growths, new roots, and even the little Keiki has a little teeny new growth down there at the bottom, but it looks like it might be growing a Keiki on the node right above the base. I'll see, you know, what happens, but since it is so low, I might leave it because the roots should go down into the media. This Bag Baby Cacklea, the new roots on the new growth didn't go down into the media, so I did put just a little bit of moss up there to try and hydrate them, because this plant just looks awful. I mean, you can see the wrinkles in it. It's not staying hydrated, but the new growths look okay. So we'll see how that goes. This is a RLC Volcano Spring, Volcano Queen. Now I do have some more new ones. These are my new Tolumnia seedlings. Aren't they cute? I put them in 1-inch clay pots with some river rock. There's all kinds of nice green root tips everywhere, and they are actually, they've only been in the pots for probably 5 days, and they're already getting very stable. Roots are going down in and grab and hold, so I'm really pleased. Now these are all Jirac Flyer and Jirac Firm. This one is Golden Sunset. This one is Soft Berry, Dalmatian, and Ruby Dot. So fingers crossed that these are going to do really well for me. My Bracteosum had to be unmounted. This is the one that I dropped and leaves fell off, and it has the new growth here and here, but it started smelling funny, and I smelled like that mushroomy smell, and it was on a mount. It had a little bit of sphagnum moss on it, and I decided, since it was the live moss, I'm sorry, probably wasn't sphagnum moss, it was live moss, that maybe it was dying underneath, maybe rotting, and when I took it off, there were no roots left on this plant. They had all rotted from that moss. So I did cut them off and set them on some damp sphagnum moss. I just dampen it a little bit every day. So hopefully this will recover. I hope. Just go one shelf below here just for some pretty violet flowers, because those are the only flowers I have in my grow room right now. My Dendrobium aggregatum, which is one of my newer plants, is doing really well. The new growths are getting nice and fat. And there's I think this is the oldest part of the plant here. This is the one that has the missing leaves. Oh, it's not focusing, but yes, it's doing really well. The roots green up nicely when I spray them because they kind of come out of the bottom a little bit on the sides. You can see. So that one is doing nicely. The new growth on the Psychopsis Mendenhall Hildas is getting nice and big and looking good. No modeling yet, but I do believe I actually saved this, even though I did lose the spike. And this is just a couple of my houseplants. And of course this one was the very poor condition phal that I got that grew the kiki up here, and it is getting bigger. So it will be fun to see what that plant looks like. The Sherry baby is looking great, and the spike is really long. This is the first time I've had anything like this, you know, with a spike, so it's looking really nice. No buds yet, but it's still going. The Vanda is doing great. It's got more new leaves coming. No spikes at the moment. I feel like I check every day, but there's nothing yet. But the plant itself is really nice and healthy, and the roots are going crazy in there. Under here, lots of roots, new tips growing out of the back of the pot, and this big one in the front. And this one is Ascacenda. Can't remember the name of it. Ascacenda. There we go. Some of the words have kind of faded, but I think the bottom one's Sunset. I would have to look it up again, but it's some really pretty orange flowers. Okay, the last table. These are all Catasetum types. These ones are the newest ones in the front, these three. And of course they're going to start losing their leaves soon, but here we have Alexandra Sava, looking really nice. This one is a cross. Hold on a second. Well, both of them are a cross, but the other one's named Greystone Live Oak by Catasetum dentagrianum. Excellent. So there's that. These are all from Sunset Valley Orchids too. I'll show you the plant again. See if you didn't see the first one. Here we go, and the last one. Rebecca Northern Grapefruit, Pink Grapefruit, and Catasetum tigrinum Wyke. All of these are doing really nicely, nice roots. And of course the ones I've had before, which I don't think I ever really name, but this one is Catasetum Bella's Dream. And this is Fred Clark After Midnight, which is supposed to be like a 4-inch, excuse me. So it's not going to be like the giant that After Dark is. I believe this is a smaller version of it. And this one here is Catasetum Jose Abalo. Now this one may be starting a spike. Let me take you up here. See down here at the very bottom, not the very bottom, that's a growth node, but right here, you can kind of see if I turn it right above that growth node, it looks like that might be a spike starting. And if it is, this is my very first Catasetum flower spike. So I'm pretty excited. And I will keep you updated on that. And before I go, I finally got a TDS meter. It came with a water filter pitcher that we bought, and it's been an eye-opener. I mean, I follow a lot of people that talk a lot about how much you're feeding your orchids and what you're feeding your orchids. And I thought I was doing what I was supposed to do. And when I tested my fertilizer water, it was very low. The TDS on it was maybe around 50. And I thought I was following the instructions on the mix that I have, but apparently it was not enough. And I think that may be why a lot of my plants have been struggling, because they haven't been getting the nutrition that they needed. So, and with catasetums, it's really important. They are high feeders, heavy drinkers, and that could be why some of my pseudobulbs on these are not looking as big as they should. Like this one here, it's nowhere near as big as last year's growth. You can tell. This one is almost as big, but not quite, and even this one. So, I mean, that could be why a lot of the new growths on my orchids don't grow as fast either. So yeah, having the TDS meter was an eye-opener for me. So I feel like it's really important to have one of those and find out what you are giving your orchids. That's it for this month's update, and I will let you know if there are any changes or new orchids that may come in. I may be getting some more soon, so I will let you know when that happens, if it happens. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good day.